Hi guys, my name is Saurabh and welcome to my channel. So I've recently applied for a UK student visa and I thought that I should share my application process with you people. So if anyone is looking for anything, like if someone have a doubt, like they are stuck in an application section, like what to fill there, or if you are just looking for the whole application, like how it look like before you actually fill your application or before you receive your cast. So this video is for you. I've already filled my application and I've already given my biometric, but I have taken the screenshot of each and every step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each screenshot and then I'm going to tell you what to fill in which section. And I want to make myself clear that I'm not any immigration lawyer or I'm not giving you like exact thing what you have to fill there. It will depend on your personal circumstances. I'm going to share my experience and what I have filled in the application, and if you have any doubt you can put down in the comment section and I will try to answer it to best of my knowledge, but don't exactly copy what I have written and make sure you fill your application best to your knowledge. Now I'm just going to go through the screenshot and start this the whole thing which you came for, and I will try to put timestamps so you can go to the exact section if you're stuck somewhere, but I'll recommend that you watch the whole video. Maybe there was some section which you were confused and then you put it something there and it's not quite right, so you might find the right answer in this video. So it's totally up to you. Now let's begin the video. So first of all, you have to go to this website where you can apply for the student visa. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can go straight to the website. So this is the first page you see. Then you have to click start now, and then when you click on it, it asks you the first question: are you intending to live in one of the crown dependency of United Kingdom? So the crown dependency are Jersey, Isle of Man and Guernsey. So you have to select yes if you are going to live in any of these places. Usually most of the people don't, they live in the main United Kingdom, so you just select no. Then we go to the next step. Then you have the question: do you have the current EU, EEA or Swiss passport? So if you are watching it from the European area, so you have to select yes here, and then you will get an e-visa, which is quite different for the people of the rest of the world. So you have to select yes, and then you have a bit different process. So if you're from this area, this video might not be for you, but if you're not, like you're in Asia or America or South America, you have to select no, and then you go to the next question. Then you have to confirm your visa type. So there are two kind of visa. So you have short-term student visa and a long-term student visa, which is normal student. So short-term is usually 6 months or below. So if you're going for like a short course, like a few month program or something, so you select the short one. And this video will be for the longer student visa or just student visa, which is usually like you're doing undergraduate or masters. So you select student and then you click next. Then on this page, they're going to ask you select your country for your biometric. So now here you can search your country. For example, I live in India, so I just typed India and then I click next. So this page will tell you check available for the visa application center. So here you have two options. I have identified the location where I will provide my biometric and I want to choose a different location. So basically you have to click on find a visa application center. You click on it, then you have this page, then you go down, you search for your country. I've selected India, and then I can see all of the visa application center near me, and you can also see their opening hours. So I have identified the visa application center which I'm going to choose. So I just close this tab and then I've selected yes, I have identified the location. Now if you don't have a VFS location in your country, you have to go back and search for a country where you can actually fly to or go to give your biometrics, and then select that country on the previous page, and then you come here and then you have to select this answer. Now we will click next. Then there is this page which is like pretty standard, like before you apply you should look for your eligibility, the documents, the fees and how they use your data and stuff. So here you don't have to do anything, you just have to click on apply now. Now this is the actual application process and you have to register your email. So I have written like a random email here and I have selected random password. So you select your personal email here and you have to set a password. Then you click on save and continue. Then it will show your email here and it will ask who does this email belong to. Now if you're a minor and you don't have an email address, you're using someone's email address, so you can just write someone else, but hardly anyone choose that option. Usually it's your personal email, so you just select you. Then you click save and continue. Then it asks you, do you have any other email address? Now if you want to use a secondary email address, you can select here. Personally I did it, I don't know why, actually it was of no use, but I selected yes, another email address. I typed my other email address. I selected this email address belong to me, and then I click save and continue. And then they ask, do you have another email address, which you can just skip. You can just select no. You only have to enter one email address. I wrote two, which was of no use to be honest. So you just select no and you click save and continue. Now in this page it says contract preference. So you will be given options like which email address you want to choose about your application, about your decision or about the communication. So you just select your primary email address there. You don't have to select one email address for your question about your application, and then another email address for your decision. Just select one email address like I have done and click save and continue. Then it's going to ask you for your telephone, and you're going to see this page. So just type your phone number and select for use outside of UK, and then just select if it's your home number or mobile number. Usually most of the people use mobile number, and I also recommend using mobile number. So I've just filled in the detail and I'll click save and continue. Now it is going to ask you, do you have any other telephone numbers? So you can usually select no and then save and continue. Personally, I've selected yes. Again, I don't know why. So I'll just click save and continue. Now here I have entered my phone number, and this is for the UK one, for use in the UK, and this is my mobile number. So I already have a working UK number which I've entered here, and then I will just click save and continue. Now here they will ask you how they should contact you. So you should usually select I can be contacted by telephone call and text message. But if you don't want that, you just want to be contacted by telephone call, you can select that. Or if you just want to be contacted by SMS, you can select that. Or if you don't want to be contacted at all, you can select the last option as well. But you should select the first one, because they might want to contact you. Now you have to select save and continue, and then it's going to ask you the preferred contact number. Now currently I'm in India, so I'm going to select my Indian number. So I'm just going to select the number and click on save and continue. Now they're going to ask you about your scholarship. If you have Marshall, Cheveling or Commonwealth scholarship, you should select yes. But if you don't have any of the scholarship, you can select no, and then you can click save and continue. Now in this page they're going to ask you, do you have your confirmation of acceptance for studies number? Now this is a caste number which your university provides you, and only after that you should fill this visa application. If you don't have your caste, do not fill the visa application, because it is of no use. Now if you don't know what is caste and how to apply for one, I'm gonna make another video about caste and all of the process and whatever you need, and explain all of the things. So if I've already made that video, it will be in the description, or you can subscribe to my channel, and whenever I post that, you will get a notification. So here you just type your caste number. It is usually written in your caste. Your caste have all of the information you need to fill this application form. So again, I'll say get your caste first from your university, and then you should apply for the student visa. Now I've entered my caste number, and I'm gonna click save and continue. Now I just want to say, like, most of the details like my caste number or other things might have been hidden, because I don't want to privacy. So if you have any doubt, like if you couldn't understand anything, again, just tell me in the comment section. Now on this page, it's going to ask you about your name. So you just write your full name. This should match exactly to your passport. So my name is Saurabh Singh, like the given names, and my surname is Chauhan. So I've written that. I'm going to click save and continue. Now on this page, it is going to ask you if you are known by any other name. Now it is written here, like for example, if you have changed your name after marriage or have a different name that you use for professional purposes, like artist names and stuff like that. So you can select yes, but if you don't have any other name, you can just select no, and I'm gonna click save and continue. Now it's going to ask about my sex and relationship status. I'm gonna write male and then single, and then save and continue. Now on this page, it's going to ask for my address. I've written random address here, you can see, and then I'm just gonna click save and continue. It says here that we may use this address to contact you about your application. You should just select yes, and then you click save and continue. Now on this page, you have to tell them how long have you lived there. So usually if you have been living in the same address since you were born, so you just write however old you are. But if you have moved house, for example, you just shifted there 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever the case is, you just write there. And then the ownership is usually other, because if you rent it, you can write you rent it, or you can write you own it. But for students, it's usually other, and on the other you have to write living with parents, because you live with your parents. There's no option there to select live with your parents, so you have to mention it in the comment box, and you just click save and continue. Now here it is going to ask you about your passport. So I've written a random passport number. You select your country, you select your issue date and then expiry date, and then you just click save and continue. Now on this page, it is going to ask you about identity card. So it says here, this includes identity card issued from non-UK government, and this does not include driving licenses. Now if you have a national identity card, you just select yes, and then you can write your national identity card number. But if you're from India, usually you get confused that should I write my Aadhaar number or my PAN number or something like that. So you can write it, but I will personally not recommend it, because it's not compulsory. You can just select no and continue. Most of the places outside India don't accept Aadhaar as a valid form of ID. I know Aadhaar is getting at that level, but I'm not sure it's quite there yet. In India, it's like one of the best ID card you can have, but outside India, not so much. So you should just select no and click on save and continue. Now it is going to ask you about your nationality, country, and date of birth. So you just select India, and then you select the enter your place of birth, and it is usually written on your passport. For example, it can be Jaipur, Rajasthan, or it can be Dehradun, Uttarakhand. I've written my town in Uttarakhand. For the video purposes, I've just written Uttarakhand and my date of birth, and then you can just fill all the detail exactly according to your passport, and then you click next. Now here it is going to ask you your other nationalities. Do you hold or have any other nationality? Usually India doesn't support dual nationality, so if you're from India it's going to be no, but if you're from some other country you can select yes, and then you can tell them about your other nationality. I'm going to click save and continue. Now in this section they're going to ask you, have you provided evidence of your English language ability in previous application? Now if you have submitted any previous visa application, you should click on yes here, but if you have not, just select no. For me it is yes, so I'm going to click on yes and continue. Now it's going to ask you, we may talk to you about your application and which language you prefer to use. Now personally you can choose Hindi or any other regional language you have, but because you're going to UK, you are applying for a UK student visa and it's a English speaking country, so I'm just going to suggest you select English, because it will just show that you have a good knowledge of English. Now after selecting English, I'm going to click save and continue. Now here it's going to ask you people financially dependent on you. So if you have any children under 18 or over 18 who still live with you, or children who you look after all the time, or older relatives who depends on you, you should select yes, but most of the time the answer will be no, so you just select no and continue. But again, I have told you it depends on your circumstances. If you have any people financially dependent on you, you should select yes. Now I'm going to click save and continue. Now it's going to ask me about my parents, so give details of 2 of your parents. So I'm going to provide that, but there's also an option of what if I do not have my parents detail. If you click on that, it is going to bring you on this page where you just select I do not have my parents detail, and you click on save and continue. But for me, I have selected father, I've filled my father's detail, then I've selected my mother, I filled my mother's detail, and then I just click save and continue. Then it comes here family who lives in the UK. So if you have any immediate family like your children or your parents or your grandparents or grandchildren, you should select yes. But if you don't have any close relative, you should just select no. Don't write yes if you have any like a far relative, for example your mother's sisters, brothers, cousin live there, so they might be family, but for the visa application process they don't come under family who lives in the UK, so you have to select no, and then you click save and continue. Then you have to write, are you traveling as a part of organized group? So basically this includes sports or work or like a study group, like people go for seminar and stuff, so you select yes if you're going as a part of that. But usually if you're going as a part of an organized group, they will take care of your visa application. But so I'm pretty sure you're applying alone for the student visa application, so you just select no and you click save and continue. Then you have to write, are you traveling with another person? If it's not your partner, spouse or dependent, you just select no because you are traveling alone. And then where you will be staying in the UK. Now if you don't know where you will be staying in the UK, you select no and click save and continue. But if you have already applied for the accommodation, you have got a accommodation offer or anything like that, you just select yes. When you select yes, it's going to ask you to enter a UK postcode. I have already applied for a accommodation in the UK and I'm going to write the postcode. I'm going to click find address, and then you can just select your address from the list and the details will be filled here. You can also enter address manually and then you click save and continue. It's going to ask you, will you be staying anywhere else in the UK? If you're planning to stay in a hotel in London, for example, for a couple of days, you should select yes and then provide the details. But if you're going straight to the accommodation or your university, so you just select no and then you click save and continue. Now here it is going to ask you about the UK travel history. If this is your first time going to the UK, you just select no. But if you have been to the UK before, you have to select yes and then you click yes, and then it's going to ask you how many times. Now this means you don't have to write every single time. For example, I lived in the UK for 4 years, so I don't have to write all of the time I came back home for the vacation and then I went back. So I have to write 2 times because I have been given visa 2 times. I did a foundation year and then a 3-year undergrad, so I was given visa 2 times, so I'm going to write 2 times. If you have been to UK before, like if you have been given a visa for like tourists, so you write 1. If you have already done your undergrad and also have been to UK as on a tourist visa, you write 2, or just tourist visa, you just write 1, and then you click save and continue. Then it is going to ask you about your most recent time in the UK. I'm going to select study and then the date arrive in the UK. Usually you can find it on your passport, you get stamped when you go from the airport, so you can just select the month and the year. You don't have to write the exact date. Also, this is about the most recent time, so you have to look back. So you don't have to tell the first time, you have to tell the most recent time, so the last visit. And then I'm going to write months here. Now I could have written 3 years, but I chose to write months because I don't know, I thought it's a bit accurate. I could have also chosen days, but I thought that will be a bit too much, so I just click save and continue. Then it will ask you about your second most recent time in the UK. Again, I'm going to select study. See, you have other options like days, weeks and months. So I'm just gonna select month and I'm going to select 8 months and I'm gonna click save and continue. You can use a website calculate duration between dates, so you can select 2 different dates and then calculate duration. It can tell you all of the things you need, for example 261 days or 8 months, 19 days. So that's why I just wrote 8 months, so you can use this calculator. And I'm going to click next and save and continue. Now this question, have you ever received a medical treatment in the UK? If you have been to UK on a student visa, and if you went to a GP, you have to select yes. If you have never been to the doctor, you select no and save and continue. I have been to GP a couple of times, so I'm just going to select yes. Now, were you told at the hospital to pay for your medical treatment? I was not asked to pay, so I'm going to select no and click on save and continue. Then it's going to ask for my details of my medical treatment, so I'm just going to select to the doctor or for non-emergency treatment, and I'm going to put the address here for my GP in Southampton and the month and the year I received the treatment. So I had a bit of rashes here, so I went to the doctor for that, and it was in March in 2020. So I just entered the dates and I selected save and continue. And then it is going to ask you about any other medical treatment you might have received. Now I did went to GP a couple of times, but I don't remember the exact date. So for here I'm just going to select no, but in the end there's an additional section where you can provide additional detail. I'm going to explain it there that I don't remember the exact date for my visits, but I've been to the doctor a couple of times. So I'm just going to select no here and click on save and continue. Now it is going to ask you, have you applied to leave to remain in the UK in the past year? Basically this is a residence permit, so if you have applied for this, you have to select yes. If you have not applied, just select no. And then the next question, do you have a UK national insurance number? Now if you have a UK national insurance number, you select yes. If you don't have, you select no. For example, I worked in the UK, so I needed a national insurance number, so I selected yes, and then I clicked save and continue. I wrote my national insurance number. This is a random number, of course, for privacy reasons. Then I'm going to click save and continue. Then it's going to ask you if you have a UK driving license. If you have a UK driving license, just select yes, type your driving license number. If you don't, just select no and click save and continue. And have you ever received any public fund in the UK? Usually if you have been to UK as a student or a tourist, you don't get public funds, so you just select no and then you click save and continue. And now it is going to ask you about your travel history across the world. Now in this first section, they're going to ask you if you have been to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Switzerland, USA, or the European Economic Area. So you get these options. So you have 0, once, 2 to 5 times, or 6 or more times. So you select according to whatever your personal circumstances are. So if you have never been there, so you just select 0. If you've been there once, just select 1. I've been there 4 times, so I'm just going to select 2 to 5 times, and then I'm going to click save and continue. Now it is going to ask me the detail of my most recent travel, and is going to ask where I've been to. So now you have which country I've visited. So you have Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and then you have European Economic Area and Switzerland. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to select Czech Republic. Purpose was tourism, and then I have to select the month and the year, and then I have to select days. So basically count the days. So for example, when you travel, you get your passport stamped on the airport, and then when you leave, you also get your passport stamped. So just have a look at your passport. For example, if it was 10th of June and for the arrival date, and then it was 14th of June for the departure, so you count all of the days. So you count 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So it is going to be 5 days, and then you just write the number of days you have been there. So for me it was 5 days, and then I'm just going to select save and continue. Then it's going to ask me the detail of my second most travel. So again, I have selected the European Economic Area in Switzerland, and then the country I have typed Switzerland. Again, tourism, month and year when I went there, and the number of days, and then I'm going to click save and continue. Now you can see it's asking for world travel history. As I've told you, I've been there 4 times, so I've been to Paris and Barcelona, but it only asked me about my last 2 times. So you don't have to write all of the details, you just write the most 2 recent visit to the European Union, or to the Europe, or Australia, New Zealand, Canada, or USA. And then it's going to ask me about the world travel history. With the world travel history, you have to write everywhere you have been. So if you have not been anywhere, you just select no, and then you click save and continue. For me it's yes, then I've click save and continue. Then it is going to ask me for the country. You type the country in, there's a list, so you just select the country. You select the reason. For me it was tourism, and then you have to write the exact date here. It's not like the previous step where you have to just write the month and year. You have to write the exact date, and then again this exact date can be found on your passport, because you will have a arrival and a departure stamp on your passport. So you just write the exact dates here. You click save and continue. Then it's going to ask you, have you been to any other country? So you can select no if you've been to only one country. If you've been to any other country, you select yes. Then you write the details again. For me it was Thailand. I've written the dates, and then I'm going to click save and continue. Then it is going to ask you again for the countries. So as many countries you have been, you just select yes, and then you enter the details. And then when you have provided all of the details, it's going to ask you again, have you been anywhere? You just select no, and then you click save and continue. continue. Now here it is asking me your planned travel information and date you plan to arrive in the UK. For me, it is going to be 15th because my accommodation contract start from 15th and my course start from 19th. Just make sure you write the realistic date which you plan to travel. Then you click save and continue, and then it is going to ask you about your immigration history. Have you ever been refused the visa? Have you ever been refused to stay, refused entry in the country at the border? So you just read it carefully and you select yes or no based on your personal circumstances. For me, it's going to be no. I'm going to click save and continue. Then it is going to be breaching UK immigration law. Again, it is going to ask you, have you ever entered the UK illegally, remained in the UK beyond your visa? So read this section very carefully and just select yes or no according to your circumstances. If you have never applied for visa for any country, this is your first time, you don't have to read, you can just select no. But if you have, just read it and select yes or no. And then again it's going to ask you about the have you ever been convicted? I select no, I've never. Then it's going to ask you about the war crimes, is in either peace or wartime, have you ever been involved in a war crime? You select yes or no, again according to your personal circumstances. And then you have to tick the box that I've read all the information about war crimes, which you can get when you click on this link, war crime, which is the blue link, and then you can read all of the information. I'm going to select save and continue. Then it's going to ask me about my terrorist activities, organization and views. I'm going to select no, and then I've read all the information, and then I'm going to click save and continue. Then again extremist organization and views, I'm going to select no, I have read all the information, save and continue. Then it is asking me some questions, person of a good character. Again you read this and then you select according to your circumstances. I've selected no, and then I'm going to click save and continue. Then it's going to ask me about my employment history. Now it is not asking me about my actual work, like have I ever worked in a grocery shop or a bank or anywhere else. There are some options here which you can read, like armed forces, government employee or intelligence services and stuff. So if you have never worked there, you can just select I've never worked in any of the jobs above, and then you click save and continue. Then it's going to ask me about my sponsor, license and address. Now your sponsor is your university. No, so you just type your university's sponsor license number. I have written my university sponsor license number and their address. So again you are going to find all of this information in your class. I'm going to click save and continue. Then it is going to be place of study. So either it is an independent school or a higher education provider or higher education provider with a track record of compliance. So you can select this option and Google it. If your university is one of the selected few with higher education with a track record, you can select that option, but for me it's just simply higher education provider, and I'm going to click save and continue. Now it is going to ask for my primary site for studies. Usually in the UK, majority of your studies take place at your university on same campus. So it is asking me the same, is this the site where majority of my studies will take place? I'm going to select yes and then click save and continue. Then it is going to ask, have I applied through UCAS? So if you are doing undergrad, you have to apply through UCAS. Some of the university also have an option, you can apply to them directly. For masters, you have to apply directly. I'm doing masters, so I'm gonna select no, and I'm gonna select save and continue. Now in this section, it is asking me, do I need to obtain permission from ATS? I'm gonna select no. If you need a permission from ATS, you select yes, and then you provide the details. I'm gonna select no and click next. Then it is asking me about my future official financial sponsor. Will you be receiving any money from an official financial sponsor or for your continuing studies? I'm gonna select no. You can read what is an official financial sponsor if you click on the link, and here they have written example of an official financial sponsor includes the UK government or your home government, a university or an international company or organization. Example of support may include a scholarship or internship or fellowship or a training program. Usually this section will be no for most of the students, but if you are being sponsored, you just select yes and then you click save and continue. For me it's no, so I'm gonna click no, and then I'm gonna go to the next step. Now on this page it is asking me my course information, so I'm going to write my university name here. I'm going to write my course name here, and then you select the level of study you're doing. Usually the masters is RQF level 7. I will provide a link in the description where you can see all of the level, like what course you're doing and what study level will be, or if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment section as well. And there's an option like, are you a sabbatical officer, like are you going to work in the student union full time? So if you are going to work in student union full time, you select yes. If you're not, you select no. If you're planning to stand in the election when you go to the UK, when you attend the university, you select no because you are not still a sabbatical officer. So you just select no and then you click save and continue. Then it is going to ask me about my course dates, like my course start date and then end date. And then this exact dates will be provided in the class, so you don't have to like worry like what is my course start date. Everything will be provided in the class. You click save and continue. Then it is going to ask me, have I made any payments for the accommodation. Like most of the accommodation ask for deposit, like you have to submit £200 or £500 or £1,000 deposit. So if you have submitted any deposit, you select yes. If you have not submitted any deposit, you select no. For me, I have not submitted any deposit, so I'm going to select no and then click save and continue. Then this is going to ask me about my course fees, and this course fees will be exactly written in your CAS. So don't write the estimate, you have to write the exact amount which is in the CAS. You will usually find this information at the end of your CAS. So you type the exact course fees here. Then it is going to ask you, have you or your parents or legal guardian already paid for your course fees? If you have not, you select no. But in UK, if you are applying for a CAS, they usually ask for a CAS deposit, which might be £1,000, £2,000. For me, it was 50% of my course fees. So I will select yes here. And then how much I have paid, this will also be mentioned in my CAS letter, and I'm going to write the exact amount here. And how you are going to prove this amount has been paid, you can provide receipts, but I will recommend you just select my sponsor has confirmed this information on my CAS, because this information will be mentioned in your CAS. Then you click save and continue. Then it is going to ask you, have you taken any student loan? Now if you have taken any student loan and the money has been credited into your account and you're going to use that amount to show your financial information, you select no here. But if you have not received money in your account, like bank provide the course fees to the university themselves and all of the accommodation themselves, they don't transfer the money into your account or your parents' account. So you select yes there, and then you have to provide the loan letter from your bank with your visa application. But again, if they have transferred all of the money into your account, you have to select no. Then you click save and continue. Then it is asking for the maintenance of fund. Now you have to usually maintain the funds for 28 days in your account, and it is asking me, are all of the accounts required in the bank account have your name on it? Now all of the funds I have shown are in my name. If it's in your name, you select yes. If it's not, then you select no. Then it asks, are you relying on money held in your parents account? Then you select yes. Do you have permission from your parents? Then you select yes. And then you have to provide an extra document, either birth certificate or adoption certificate or a court document. Then you have to provide this with the bank statement from your parents account wherever the money is held. Now in the future, I will bring a video about the documents which are required for your visa application, but I want to give a quick tip here that if you have money in your parents account, like maybe 10,000 in your father's account, 5,000 in your mother's account, and 5,000 in your account, then you have to show all of the bank statement. That you have to provide 3 different bank statements. What I will personally suggest is that ask your parents, request your parent to put the money in your account and keep all of the funds in one account and just leave it there for 28 days. Don't make it complicated for yourself or the visa officer. I saw this other video on YouTube where a person's visa was rejected because they said the financial evidence was not provided. So basically he provided FD certificate, the 2-3 savings account, his father's account. There were like loads of documents, and then it just made the whole process a bit complicated. Basically what the visa officer did, he didn't saw other bank statement account, which was mistake on his part, and then the guy who applied for the visa appealed against it, and then he got the decision reversed and he got his visa. But that was just extra unnecessary thing he went through. Just request your parent that put money in your account. Don't spend it, just leave it there for 28 days in your normal savings account and it should be fine. For me, it's yes. I've selected yes, and then I've clicked save and continue. But if you want to keep it in your parents' name, because if you're applying for visa, you might have already left it for 28 days and you might not have the time. But if you're watching this video before, as I said, keep the money in your account. And then I'm going to click save and continue here. Now this is the section where I told you about the additional information about the GP. So you can write any additional information which you might have, which might help your visa application, or which you might want to disclose. Anything, you can put it here. You're allowed 1000 characters. And then you just click save and continue. Now it is going to ask you to check your answers. You should go through everything, read it once, maybe read it twice, and then you go to the end and then you click continue. Now it is going to ask you about evidence showing the required maintenance fund. Now here I have typed my bank name, ICICI Bank, and how I'm going to provide the evidence is going to be statement from my bank account. So I'm going to click statements and then I'm going to click save and continue. Now it is asking me to add more financial evidence. As I said that you might have 3-4 different accounts where you have like some money here, some money there, maybe some in one bank and some in other bank. Then you type yes here and then you type your other bank's name. But again, extra step, I'll suggest not to do it. But if you have, you just select yes and then you keep adding however number of banks you have, and then you click save and continue. Now on this page it is showing me that the mandatory documents required is the passport and the other document required. So you just have to tick the box that you agree to provide the document. So first is the passport. The other documents are statement from the bank, and if you have provided any qualification, like if you have submitted your 10th or 12th mark sheet, or if you're doing masters, you might have submitted your undergraduate mark sheet. So you take this option and you have to submit your TB test result as as well. So you tick all of the boxes and then you click on save and continue. And there's one thing written here which I've highlighted, that if you choose to pay for the assisted scanning services, your all of the documents should be in A4 sizes. If not, then you have to make them A4 sizes. I'm going to talk about this a bit later when you are selecting your appointment, because this assisted scanning service is available in the VFS website, which we are going to talk about in a bit. Then you just select all of the boxes and then you click save and continue, and then you just check your answers and then you click on continue. Now there's conditions. You have to accept their terms and condition, that if you stay in the UK without permission, you can be detained and you can be prosecuted, fined and stuff like that. You just read all of them and then you click I confirm that I understand these conditions, and then you click save and continue. Now this is a declaration. You just read it and then you click that I am the applicant, age 18 and over, and then you click I accept the above, and then you click again, you click on continue here. Now it's time to pay for the immigration health surcharge. Now on this page you can read that your answers will be locked when you go to the IHS website, even if you do not pay for your IHS. For example, you click on the go to the IHS website and then you don't pay, you cancel it for whatever reason, you won't be able to edit your answers. So this is the time, if you want to make change to anything, do it now, because after this all of your answers will be locked. So before submitting my application, I read it twice, I made sure everything is fine, everything is correct, and then I clicked go to IHS website, and then you have to pay for your immigration health surcharge. I'm going to cover different videos about this thing because this video is already a bit long. So basically health surcharge is your insurance, like health insurance. So you don't pay for your treatment in the UK, you do pay for your prescription, you do pay for your dental, and I think I as well, not sure, but you don't have to pay for your doctor's visit or emergency room visits, and you have to pay for that before. Even if you think you will never visit a doctor, there's no way out of it. Your application won't be accepted without this. You just scroll down and then you click on continue. So on the immigration health surcharge website, most of the details should be filled already, but there are some missing details. I don't know why this happened. So you just write all of the details. So for example, staying in the dependency, you select no, and then you write your course start date, you write your course end date, and then you answer, are you applying for the same course which you studied before? You select no. Is your course at NQF level 7? You select yes. Is your course a master's degree? You select yes. Is your course for 13 months or less? You select yes. You can calculate this from your course start date and end date. Then it's asking please select the location of your course, and you will see some universities there. There will be a list. If your university is not on the list, you just select other. If your university is on the list, you just select your university, and then you write your passport number and your date of birth, and other documents will be there. And then when you will click continue, you will see the summary of your answers in the immigration health surcharge website, and then you just go down and then you just select these details are correct. And then on the next page they will ask you for your declaration. You select I agree, and when you click on I agree, you will see the payment summary. So they basically use the current rate, whatever the pound and rupees are doing, or whatever the currency is in your country, and then you just have to click on pay now. You enter your card details and you make the payment, and when you will make the payment, it will bring you back to this website and it will say payment successfully, click continue with your application. And then when you select it, you will have your IHS reference number here. You can take a screenshot. You will also get an email. You don't need to write this number anywhere else because it will automatically be in your application. So you just click on return to my visa application and you just select continue my application. Your IHS reference number will be there. Now on this page demonstrating your permission to be in the UK, they're telling you about the BRP card, that if you're going to stay in the UK for more than 6 months, you will receive a BRP card, and where do you want to collect it from. So here you have two options. So now you can collect it from a post office, or you can collect it from an alternate location. Now the last 2 times I collected it from the post office. I just wrote the postcode of my town, like you can write the postcode of your accommodation or your university, and then you can just click find a post office near you. So it is going to show you all of the post office nearby. You can select this option and then you can collect your BRP from the post office. But if you're afraid that you won't be able to find a post office in the new country because you've never been there, you might get lost. So you can select collect from an alternate location, and when you click on this option, it is going to ask you about your ACL, which is alternate collection location code. This is a code which is provided to your sponsors. So your UK university will provide you with this code when they will give you your cast. So on the email they will usually say that enter this ACL code when asking about the BRP. So I've entered the ACL code, and then I'm going to click find alternate location, and then you can see my university name is here, the Solent University, CEO admission enrollment, and I'm going to select this option. And it is also a bit easier for the new students because they have to go to the university for their enrollment and they don't have to find the post office and stuff. So you just select this option and then you click save and continue. Now on this page it is going to ask you to choose the service. Now here there's only one standard service. Sometime I have read that there are priority and that's faster service. If you want that, and if you have an option, you can select that, but for me it was only one option which I clicked, and then I click save and continue. And on this page you select continue to World Pay, and then you go and enter your card details and everything. I did that, and then my payment was successful. You can print a confirmation here, and then you have to select save and continue to the final task, where you will select your biometric appointment and stuff. Now when you click on save and continue to final task, you will have some further actions. For example, first you can download the checklist. So you click on download checklist, and then you can download your checklist, and then you get your TB test. If required, then you have to click on check requirement. Basically it's ask you which country you have been to and where you have lived for your last 6 months. And in India usually you have to get the TB test, and then the last option will be provide your documents and biometrics, and this is where we have to click. Now if you have not given your TB test, I will suggest you to book your TB test and then book your appointment, because you might not get TB test straight away. For example, if you book your appointment for maybe next week, and then you call the place where you want to get your TB test, they might be booked till next week, and they might have an availability after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So book your TB test first and then book your appointment. What I will suggest is TB tests are usually valid for 6 months, and if you know you are going to UK, you have like all of the things are confirmed, you have applied for CAS or you have got your admission letter, what I will suggest is book your TB test as soon as possible. They don't need any other information. They just ask for your passport, they have your passport number in it, and then you can just go to any of the center and then you get your TB test done. I got my TB test done back in May, and then it was valid for 6 months. So don't wait for your CAS or to fill this application to book your TB test. I will suggest just get your TB test done before, because you will need your TB test. And then when you make an appointment for your biometrics, you can get the earliest appointment possible. So even if there's an appointment for next day or 2 days later, you can get that one, because you will already have all of the documents. You will already have your TB test and you will have everything. So I will suggest to do this. Now we will click on provide documents and biometric, and then it will say you are about to be transferred to our commercial partner website, and then you click on continue, and then you will be brought to the VFS global website. Now here my reference number is already typed, and my email address is already typed, and I can't edit it or I can't do anything. You just have to select your application center. For me, I selected Chandigarh, and then the standard visa section was also grayed out. So I will just click on continue, and then you can see there was an option pick an appointment date. I was filling this application on the 2nd of July. So you can see the earliest date for the available, and the paid one was 7th, and you can see the date 4, 5, 6 are paid only. So I selected the 7th. When I clicked on it, you can see there were many appointments available, and then the premium one were available at like 10:15 or at 11, and with the 7th one there was an appointment at 3:30, and then there was one more appointment at 3:45. So I selected the 3:31, and then I clicked on next, and then it asked me to buy a service. Now they have many different type of services here. If you want any service, if you want lounge service or any service, you can get one. It's completely up to you. Personally, I only took 2 services, which were courier service and SMS services. There's one more service which most of the people take, which is if you see the document scanning service, which is 1000 rupees, and usually when you click on it, it will say the VFS will help you preparing, sorting and arranging your supporting document for your application. Your documents will be arranged using the required barcode separator, saving you precious time as they are scanned for submission. Now this service is 1000 rupees. You can select this service if you want. Personally, I will not recommend it, because remember earlier I showed you that you have to scan all of your documents in A4. For example, if your birth certificate is bigger or your 10th mark sheet is a bit bigger, what you have to do is you have to scan it and print it in an A4 paper, and then you have to bring it to your biometric appointment. Basically, you can submit all of your document by yourself, because once you are scanning a document and uploading it, it's fine. What VFS do is they do the exact same thing. They will scan your document and then they will give you your documents back. So you're paying 1000 rupees just for scanning the documents. And if you talk about the preparing and sorting the documents, it's not that big of a deal. because I uploaded my documents, and on the next page I'm going to show you that they have completely separate section for each document. So if you upload the document in the right place, it is going to be sorted already. It's not like you have to arrange them in some order, like you have to put your financial evidence before your TB test. It's nothing like that. So personally, I will not recommend this service. I will say just scan your documents yourself. Go to any cyber cafe, get your documents scanned, bring them on a pen drive and just upload it yourself. But if you want, you can always select the service. If you're not too confident that you will be able to scan the documents and upload it, you can always select the service. I have not selected the service. And there's one more service which I want to show you. This Keep My Passport While Applying, and it costs 3,500. Now basically what happens in this service is when you go to your biometric appointment, usually you have to leave your passport, and then you will get a decision. They will email you that your decision has been made, and then if you select it for a courier service, you will get your passport back by courier. They use Blue Dart as their partner, and if you select it collect at a VFS location, then they will call you that your passport is ready for collection. You just have to go there and collect your passport. With this service, what will happen, you will get your passport back. So on the day of biometric, you will submit all of your documents, you will give your biometrics, they will click a photograph, but they will not take your passport, they will not keep your passport, and they will give it back to you. And then whenever a decision has been made on your application, VFS will call you, contact you that your decision has been made, and from that day you will have 1 month to get the visa sticker stamped in your passport, and then they give your passport back the same day. So for example, you selected the service and you get a call today that your visa is ready, you can come, and then you can go tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and then you can just get your visa stamped on your passport. But this service is usually beneficial for people who are going to travel somewhere in between. So it might take 1 to 2 months to get your visa, and if you want to travel next week somewhere but you can't because you have submitted your passport for your visa, then you can select the service and then you can still travel. For example, you want to go to Thailand or Dubai, somewhere between you have to go to UK and now, so you can select this service. It's a really good service for those people. But for me, when I went to the biometric service, the lady there said to me that the visa application processing time is 6 to 12 weeks right now, and you should select this service so you can keep your passport. And what I replied was that I'm not going to get the decision faster if I select this service. With this service, by paying 3,500 rupees, all I will be able to do is keep my passport, which is of no use. Like if I selected the courier service, I will receive the passport in 3 to 4 days. So she was trying to convince me to take this service because decision time is taking longer, so I should keep my passport. But like it won't make any sense if the decision time is longer. Like there's no use if I have to travel to UK in September and I don't get my passport, so I won't be able to travel. But if I keep my passport and I don't get my visa, I will still not be able to travel. So this service is made for some people but not for everyone. So make sure they don't push you, they don't try to convince you to take the service. If you are traveling somewhere in between, then you take the service. And if you're worried that courier might take longer to get your passport back, then you can select the service if you want. But then you can also collect at the VFS center. So if you get a call today that your passport is ready for collection, instead of waiting 3 to 4 days for your passport to come back by courier, you can just go the next day and collect your passport. So you can select that service rather than paying 3,500. Because even if you select this service, you have to go to the VFS location to get a stamp. So even if you live far away from the VFS location, you have to go there. So you can just go there to collect your passport. So again, make sure you select the service only if you are traveling somewhere in between, or else just avoid this. Now I clicked on next, and then they asked for the payment information. I inserted my details and everything, and I paid 825 rupees again. 650 was for the courier and 175 was for the SMS service. And this the SMS service is kind of a scam. Like they don't usually send you any SMS. They send you like 2-3 SMS that your application has been received at VFS. Your application has been forwarded to VFS, and then your application is ready to collect. So you only get 3 SMS, but you also get these information in email. So whatever email you get the exact same message, and then you pay 175. I don't know why I selected this. It's just like kind of, I don't know, it's just it happens. So I just selected the SMS service, and then I will probably suggest you not to do it, but you can if you want to. It's only 175 rupees. And then my appointment was confirmed, and then you can see self-upload, and then if you scroll, you can see if you like to upload your documents, you can do it now by uploading now. You can upload your documents till 24 hours before your scheduled appointment. So for example, my appointment was on 7th of July at 3:30. So I have till 6th of July till 3:30 p.m. to upload any document I want to. And if you can't upload your documents right now, like if you haven't scanned them and you need to go and scan them, you can do it later. So there are two options: upload later. You can always go to your account and then you can upload the documents, or you can get the document assisting service. It was 1,000 rupees, as I told you before. So I selected yes, I will do it now. And then you should read this, like what kind of documents are accepted. You should not use the password encrypted documents. For example, if you download your bank statement, it is usually password protected. So do not upload that bank statement. What you can do is, when you download your bank statement and it asks you for your password, then you just enter your password. Your bank statement will be shown in a PDF, and then you just click on print above, and then you can select it save as PDF, and then that is a complete different file without a password. And that's what you should do. You should never upload a password encrypted PDF file here. Now on this blue section, you can read qualification documents, travel doc reference, and the maintenance fund. So what I did was I submitted all of the documents, and now I'm going to show you what documents I submitted. So education documents, I uploaded my Solent, my undergrad degree, my class 10th mark sheet, and my class 12th mark sheet. You can see there was a failed one here because the file name had like class underscore 10th underscore mark sheet. So it says you can't use those underscores. So I uploaded it again, as you can see at the bottom, class 10th mark sheet and 12th mark sheet. So I uploaded 3 educational evidence, and you can see choose file. So you just click on any of the section and then you choose the file and then you just upload it. You can see all of the sections here. So you have accommodation. I have applied for my accommodation. They have sent me a contract as well. So I've uploaded my accommodation. I have uploaded my education evidence, which was my class 10th mark sheet, my 12th mark sheet, and my undergrad degree. Then it is additional documents. So here I uploaded my scanned passport copy. Then there was consent letter and proof of relationship. Again, you don't need to provide this if you have finance in your own account. If you're using your parents' account, then you have to provide the consent and the proof of relationship, as I said, the birth certificate. But you know, like how we Indians are, we just don't want to leave anything. So I had the consent letter and my birth certificate, so I just uploaded it. They might not even use this document, but just for my satisfaction, I uploaded it. And then I uploaded my TB certificate. So when you get your TB done, you get a certificate. I scanned that and then I just uploaded it. And then you click save and upload, and all of your documents will be uploaded. Now, if you are coming back later and you don't know how to sign in, so what you have to do is just write your reference number. You should get this reference number in your email, and then you type your email and then you just click on sign in. Now you can see welcome, I have an appointment, my reference number is there, my name is there. Then I click on manage appointment and you can see appointment details. My appointment details was on 7th of July in Chandigarh, and then I can reschedule my appointment. I can resend the confirmation letter and I can select the print appointment letter and I can cancel my appointment. And with the self upload, I can upload more files or I can view uploaded files. So when I click on view uploaded files, you can see accommodation, I have tenancy agreement, my education evidence, my financial evidence. With financial evidence, I provided the bank statement, which I downloaded online from ICICI Bank. But I also went to the bank and I requested them to provide me with a balance certificate, which ICICI Bank do. So it's like a pre-filled certificate which says that Saurabh Chauhan have an account and as of this date he have this much balance in his account, and that was just like an extra document for my satisfaction which I got. And then you can see the additional document. I have passport PDF, and then consent and proof of relationship. I have a birth certificate affidavit, birth certificate and parents consent form. My birth certificate was in Hindi, so I have an affidavit, like it's like a translation from Hindi to English. And then my parents consent form is just a letter which will be on your screen right now. Like you can pause and read the letter. It just says that we have given a consent for me to study in the UK, and all of the funds are provided in my account, and how much fees we have paid and how much is left and how much the maintenance fund is required. So it's like a letter from my parents saying that they have given me money and the money is in my account, because obviously I have not earned that much money. And then if you go back, you can buy more services if you want. So if you decide later on that you want to scan the documents, or if you decided to get the keep my passport service, you can add extra services. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. So this was the last screenshot. So that was the whole UK visa application. I know this video is very long because I've finished 3 different recording of nearly 30 minutes. I don't know how much will be the complete length when I edit this video, but I didn't want to miss any step, and I don't want to keep any information to myself which might be useful for you. And in coming weeks I'm gonna upload more videos like what is CAS, and all of the things which happen at the biometric location, like what happened with me, my personal experience, and all of the documents required and how you can get those documents. And I'm gonna do more videos regarding the UK and all of the student experience, and you can obviously write in the comment section like what kind of videos do you want to see. If you have any doubts, I will try to make a video on that. And I've lived in the UK for 4 years, so I do have a bit of experience in that area, like what SIM to get, which bank to open, and how you can save your money, how you can find part-time jobs. And I'm going to cover all of those in coming weeks. And if you want to watch all of those videos, you can subscribe to my channel. This is a new channel, and it will really help me if you subscribe, and it will keep me motivated to make more videos. So in the end, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below whatever you think, if you have any question or anything, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Goodbye.